Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us. As mentioned, our guest on the program is Joseph Daeges. He's the author of the series. The book we're going to be talking about, the first in the series, Planet Maya. He also has written Planet Maya, New Beginning for the Henry Family. And then he's got a third that'll be coming out very soon. We're going to focus on the first two. Joseph, welcome to This Week in America. Great to have you with us on the program today.
Thank you, and nice to be with you.
The books are fascinating. I read the first one. I can't wait to get to the second. I wrap up the second one, and I'm really waiting to get the third one. So hopefully that'll be coming out, and we can talk about that soon. Well, before we get into talking about Planet Maya, let's talk a little bit about your background. And you've said that the haunted stories have really always interested you and inspired you, and you're a big fan of the Harry Potter books. Let's talk about this fascination with haunted stories. When did that start for you?
Well, this book is basically a dream of my childhood. And of course, I see in Harry Potter, I give me more ideas on how to present it. But basically, every night when I was going to bed, I was almost forcing myself to go to bed just to be able to get into my little cocoon and trying to my little paradise.
You know, it's interesting because this is not a Harry Potter type sequel. This is your unique story, your unique innovation. How difficult was that to find your own voice, to okay, I'm going to use Potter as an example, obviously because it's very successful, and I'm going to write it in my own style and using my own imagination. How difficult was it to find your voice?
Not too much, because it was, like I said, it was a long day starting of the book. I started when I was about 6 years old. I was dreaming about my own little place with my lake, my beaches, and, and when Harry Potter came out, of course, they kind of gave me more ideas of making the book more complete.
When did you feel like, okay, I am ready now to do this book? How long did the process take from when you decided, okay, I'm actually going to start putting words down and I'm going to write this story?
I just woke up in the morning and I started to type, and I'm just like, okay, I have all my ideas come flowing in my mind, and basically, the first book came out, and I'm like, okay, I have to work on the second book, and that's the way it went.
Well, yeah, and it's very well received, and our guest on the program is Joseph Daeges. That's spelled Daegus, or Daeges. The book, Planet Maya, it's available at Trafford.com. That's the publisher. You can also find information if you go to Amazon, and certainly go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and log on directly. Let's talk about the book. It's a fictional story of a cursed mansion. First of all, let's talk about the family. Paul is the main character in the book, and here's a guy that really feels pretty proud of himself. He finally has been able to set aside enough money. He's going to buy this mansion. There's plenty of room. It sits on 10 acres. The neighbor's like a mile away, so they've got plenty of space for the kids. So talk about the character, because he's really proud of himself. He's finally able to buy this house. Little does he know the problems that lie ahead with the mansion.
Well, it's because of the freedom that the place has given to them, that will provide them. And also, they were in an apartment. When you live in an apartment, you have rules, regulations, and you cannot bother too much the neighbors, and the kids were making a little noise and stuff like that. And it's very hard for parents to deal with the whole situation sometimes. So they were gladder to have a place where they call it home, sweet home, and start their own little family.
Well, and once they get there, and the name of the book again is Planet Maya. Our guest on the program is Joseph Daeges, Daeges. The website is Trafford.com. The follow-up book to this is Planet Maya, New Beginning for the Henry Family. Once they get into the mansion, they find out real quickly that things are not quite what they seem to be. And in fact, they realize we got this at a bargain price because a lot of people tried to live in the mansion. They thought it was cursed or haunted, and they left many times abruptly, and they left some things behind.
Well, the thing is, the the dad that bought this mansion had the good of his family at heart, and he overlooked the little details. Say, oh, you know what, that's probably just a bank repo, and it'll be, once it's going to be cleaned up, it's going to be okay, like just most of us will do if we love them. If we like the place and if we fall in love with it, and we can imagine the future of our family, the children pleasures and the children good times, the children uh, being happy later, having good memories. And that's probably why, one of the reasons why they put the question of maybe the place was haunted, because it was a paradise. It was a nice place.
Yeah, and I mentioned that people left abruptly and left things behind. Paul goes out very early. I think his first day there, and he's in the barn, and he thinks he's just hit the lottery out there. He's got like a truck and a tractor, but he finds out nothing really works. His wife is having trouble back in the kitchen, so they really figure out from day one they've got some problems to deal with here, and they try to tell themselves everything is going to be fine, but it really didn't work out that way, did it? They had some problems to deal with.
Of course, there were some problems to deal with, but regarding the beauty of the place, the attractions of the place, the memories of the place, that were taking over the common sense of maybe the place is haunted.
Well, and then there's a blackbird that I'm going to say is very pesky. It likes tapping on human people. Talk about the blackbird. Repeated attacks on the one son, Angelo, whenever he goes outside.
Oh, that blackbird. Well, it's if you go toward the end of the story, you will discover what the blackbird is. Um, it's just a imagination of putting little animals into a figure. Every time, just like Harry Potter, the little person represents somebody. So the blackbird represents individuals. I'm not going to say all what's going on because people have to read the book, but the blackbird itself has the main mission, the main reason, and throughout the whole story.
The book is called Planet Maya. Our guest in the program is Joseph Daeges, Daeges. The book's available at Trafford.com. Information at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. The second book in the series, Planet Maya, New Beginning for Henry Family. And you can log on to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and get all the information. It's been called by reviewers a compelling paranormal mystery. When you sit down to write something like this, and you've got the blackbird we talked about, you've got a magic mirror, you've got so many great elements entered into the story. When you do this, do you sit down with an outline in the beginning and figure, okay, at this point I'm going to introduce this, or do you just sort of like let it go and wherever it takes you, that's where you go?
Well, it's, like I said earlier, it's a long uh, phase in my life. I mean, I could imagine, the beauty and the beast. You talk about a mirror in there, and just a little bit of little things that brought me to get my imagination create my own little domain every night before I went to sleep.
Is it difficult at the end of the day when you leave the characters behind? It's always fascinating to talk to writers. Some really can't leave them behind. No matter what they're doing, they're sort of thinking, okay, this is what Angelo's up to, and I'm going to have it go in this direction. And others can basically shut down the computer, pull the paper out of the typewriter. They're done until tomorrow. I get the impression that you pretty much lived with this during the course of writing the books.
Oh, just
Oh, that's okay. That's somebody calling to buy the book. So that's a good sign. The book is called Planet Maya. With us on the program is the author Joseph Daeges, Daeges. Book's available at Trafford, TRAFFORD.com. We were talking about when you get, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I do need to get some sleep. I have to leave these characters. Do you ever leave the characters behind, or are they sort of constantly in the back of your mind?
Well, it's not actually all the time behind my mind because I'm trying to reach at the people reaction. I'm trying to see what people will react when they see the end of the story, when all these little details comes true, and it fascinates me because I'm thinking a small little animal that maybe nobody pay attention to it. Most of the time, it's coming on the sideway. We we get rid of them.
Yes.
And I'm making out of those little creatures, I'm making a story. So it's fascinating for me to be able to try to get the people reaction to our little things like that.
And you do such an excellent job of bringing that out. And it's difficult as a reader to like, okay, I'm going to read another chapter here before I put the book down for tonight. You're sort of anxious to see where it's going. And as I mentioned at the end of the second book, Planet Maya, New Beginning for the Henry Family, it's like, okay, I can't wait to see where this is going in the third installment. I mentioned Angelo. Angelo is one of the children, and Angelo comes up missing, which adds a whole new element to this, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, that's the whole thing about the story. He goes missing, and I made it on purpose to not making on the whining part, but to show the courage and the determination of Paul and his wife, Eva, to solve the problem. It was more like, yeah, everybody is in distress, everybody is wondering what could be the prank, what's going on, the police are involved, but yet the determination is stronger than defeat.
The book is Planet Maya. That's spelled Maya. The book is available at Trafford.com. Joseph Daeges, our guest on the program today. And the follow-up is Planet Maya, New Beginning for Henry Family. Let's talk briefly about some of the other characters in the book. Talk about who Harry is. Very interesting character that's introduced early on in the first book.
Which creature?
Yeah, Harry.
Oh, Harry.
Yes.
Oh, that's the neighbor. The neighbor is being, he has witnesses a lot of things going on into this mansion. And he persevered. He's just like, okay, I'm not, everybody else are my friend, walk away from the place. But I'm going to stick around because I want to know the truth of what's going on in that place. And he had probably been accused of doing the wrong things and stuff like that. And he was under the radar, almost the one be blamed for all the things happening. So he was determined to go and find out what really is the matter in the mansion.
The bad magician. Explain briefly that character. Again, people will have to go read the book and they'll be fascinated once they do. But bad magician, who is that?
Well, it's the magician that is not happy with himself. He wants to bring everybody down. He wants to create chaos. And he knows that when chaos is afloat, then the victory is more sure for him. So he's trying, every family that went into the mansion to give up until Paul said, okay, I'm going to confront this character that's trying to divide my family, that's trying to force me out of the mansion and trying to get somewhere else, and I'm going to teach him a lesson.
The book is Planet Maya. Our guest on the program is the author, Joseph Daeges. Just a couple minutes left in the program. And as I'm reading this, it's a book of family courage. It's a book about coping strategies of being able to triumph over circumstances. Talk about the family's courage, because it's on display throughout the books.
Yeah, the family was being cursed because they went into the cave, and like I said, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but they went into the cave, and they didn't make it out. They didn't make it out. They got like prisoner of their own domain, and they have been reported missing uh, for many years.
I mentioned early the fascination with Harry Potter that was an inspiration for you. This book, how would you describe who would be interested? Because this is not just a young adult reading it. I think anybody who's interested in a good suspense, especially with a paranormal added to it, would enjoy reading Planet Maya.
Yeah, I think it's very enjoyable book. I think it's going to be uh, put a lot of smile upon the face of people. I think there's going to be a lot of intriguing. It's going to intriguing a lot of people. They're going to ask a lot of questions because even though the first book came out, you still don't know what happened really to Angelo. You know that he left, he came back as an alien, but what really happened to it after that, nobody knows yet.
But you do. You finish the third book. So how soon before we'll be able to talk about that?
Well, my hope is to get it out for Christmas, but I'm working very hard to do it, but I very doubt it I'll be able to do it.
Well, the first two that we've talked about are available: Planet Maya, Maya, and Planet Maya: New Beginning for Henry Family. Both those are available, of course, at Amazon. Information at the publisher's website, which is Trafford.com, TRAFFORD.com. The book is written by Joseph Daeges, Daeges, and the third in the series will be out fairly soon, so look for that. Now, what was it like when you got a minute left here? What was it like when you ended book 3? Did you feel like you're leaving a part of you behind, or will you take some of that and continue with another book?
Well, I started to write another book myself, but I'm not working as hard on it. I'm just taking it easy because I'm taking a break. But in between my regular work, and sometimes I just don't feel to do any one of them. So I just put it on the side, and when I feel like it, I just go and do it.
Well, Planet Maya is an excellent read. Like I said, you start, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to read a couple more pages before I put the book down here for the evening, and then you've got the follow-up that you can read directly after you finish Planet Maya. You can do the New Beginning for Henry Family. Joseph, thank you for joining us on the program. Best of luck with the third version. Hopefully we'll have you back, and we will talk about that. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me too.
You're welcome. You're listening to This Week in America. Our website is thisweekinamerica.us. Information available on Joseph's book at Trafford.com.
Thank you very much.